You are now listening to the M.K.P podcast.
Let's go. Tier list? Is this an M.K.P podcast? It is. I don't know what that intro was. You're right. Hello, welcome to the M.K.P podcast.
Oh, that was classic.
If that doesn't go down as the worst intro we've ever done, I don't know what will.
I mean, it's definitely the most unique one we've ever done.
the sponge, the funny SpongeBob meme. Right. I'm back.
He's back in town.
I took a week off. I'm back now.
Sorry, just in the background melting himself. It's so funny.
Get a grip, man. Get a grip.
Get a grip, dude.
My name's Matt. This is
Hello,
Kush.
nice to meet you, Matthew.
the guy in the back. That's Paul.
Hello.
Uh,
How are we?
We are back.
We're all right.
He's back.
We'll start.
Three
We'll start.
Musketeers.
Should we start
Yep.
the episode off with an announcement?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do that. How about that?
Do it.
I've got to find said announcement.
Said
I put it in our
announcement.
chat the other day, and I've lost it.
Oh my god.
Go on, Chris.
This is
Let's see if we
off-
can find
this is
it.
off to a
Let's see if we
horrible
can find
start.
it.
This is a brilliant start, isn't it?
Oh, I think we're gonna have a contender for new worst episode, boys.
Oh no.
I don't know. Last one was a bit touchy, and I do not blame anyone else but me for that. I have to admit, my energy was lost.
Yeah.
Well, you guys held it.
thank you
in
very
your
much.
last episode.
Wanted to keep it
That's
short.
not
so
very
made-
good.
Yeah.
I can confirm. I also do not know what the Obama game is.
Yep.
I was gonna say we
We don't
just
know.
lost on that, weren't we?
We were very lost. I
I
still
was
don't know.
Just honestly, some of those were that I hadn't had a clue. That one was the worst.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
After all my time playing Flash games, childhood and that,
Childhood memory.
childhood memories. I do not remember that game. I was like,
Yeah.
it must have been the latest one, but obviously we went out too old to play Flash games.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I found the announcement. If we're ready for it.
Have
Yes.
a feeling I know what
So
it is.
drum roll, please. Thank you, Paul. We're on
I'm a drummer, what can I
Castbox.
Yay! Woo!
Yay! New platform.
new
I
platform.
don't know what Castbox is, to be honest,
Me
but
neither.
Yeah, I've never heard.
never heard of it before. But we're on there.
No, we're on
So
there. More
yeah.
the merrier.
shout out to Castbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shout
And
out.
go listen to us there.
Yeah, please.
That was very blunt, but yeah.
Literally,
so-
probably-
go.
Literally
Ba-
download every single one.
Based on our audience analytics, you're probably listening to this on Spotify. So
Yep.
stop listening
Lads.
to us on Spotify.
Yeah,
Go
go
to
to Castbox. We are demanding that you go to
No,
the
stay on
That's a-
Spotify. Stay on Spotify. It's probably the
Yeah,
best.
no. Safest.
Just listen to it. Just listen to it multiple times over on every platform.
I was gonna
YouTube.
say,
Go subscribe to us on YouTube. MKP podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook
Insta.
as well. We now have a
Facebook,
Facebook
please
page.
follow us, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you,
so-
Facebook friends. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you to everyone who's followed us on Facebook, and go follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
Go check us out. What else are we on? I can't even remember. Google Podcasts, Apple
Yep.
Podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah,
big
Pocket
one.
Cast.
Okay,
What else were we on? Pocket Cast,
Yeah,
Anchor,
Pocket Cast.
Breaker, Radio Public.
Yes.
Is it Radio Public?
Oh, my memory
Yeah,
is
I think that's-
terrible.
I think
Yeah.
that's all of them. I think that is all of them.
Yeah.
That is.
We should
Okay.
really write a list for the episode so we can actually know which ones, because I forget all the time.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I am so sorry.
Audience analytics, big shout out to the what is it, like the 10% that are listening to us in the United States.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
It's very confusing because 89% are from the United Kingdom and 10%
Yeah.
are from the United States, leaving me
Yeah.
to wonder where the
Strange
hell is
set of
that other
affairs.
1%?
Oh yeah, we were talking about
Yeah,
this as well,
true,
weren't we?
true.
Yeah.
But no,
Thank
so if you're listening to us in the US, cheers.
you.
How
Big
you
up to
found this
you, big up to
podcast
you.
is beyond me.
I was thinking the exact same thing. How do you find it in the US?
Ha-
I've no idea.
We've probably
Yeah,
been
I'm grateful.
bamboozled. It's probably just someone on a VPN, but yeah.
Yeah,
do you
true,
like
yeah.
our opinions?
If you're on a
on-
VPN, shout out to you. Shout out to our VPN listeners.
Yeah, absolute
Um,
advertisement there. Brilliant.
I guess that's it. Go follow us on everything.
Please do.
On
because we're very
everything there
funny.
is.
We're a very funny podcast.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
absolute comedians.
We are not, but
We are.
We're the opposite, but we like to believe it, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to the last couple of weeks, boys? New year, new times. It's not. It's the
Sleeping.
same pandemic.
Not been a great start to a year, has it? I mean, like
It's been an
still
awful
the
start to the year, except for Donald Trump getting banned from Twitter.
Oh my god.
That was the
I
funniest
genuinely
thing to come out of the last 12 months. To be
cannot
honest.
believe that. Oh my god. Can't believe he was actually banned from everything. I was just there like, wow.
He got
I'm a
banned
bit
from
shocked. I'm a
Facebook,
bit
from
shocked, yeah.
Instagram, from Twitter. I think he
Yep.
got banned from TikTok. I'm sure he's very upset about that one.
He is.
Basically everywhere, pretty much, isn't it?
Problem is, it didn't end up mattering because he just ended up tweeting from the POTUS account. So it didn't even matter he got
Oh,
banned
yeah.
from Twitter. He just jumped onto his backup and just started tweeting from that. Yeah, but he won't.
You've got
He
to
won't.
admire his courage.
You
Got to
go-
admire it.
He's persistent. You gotta give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got banned off Twitter after the
Every dog
horrible
is kind of
things
like
he
that,
advocated for in the Capitol over the last
Yep.
couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's just stupid.
How you can support this man still after that is, I don't understand it. To each their own, politically wise, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'd honestly say America's probably still got a worse world leader than us over here, and we've got Boris Johnson running our country. Like,
yeah, honestly, yeah. It's ridiculous. I don't know what.
I mean, he's not. He's only president for what, another week, and then he's out, isn't he?
Is
No, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
inauguration's tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Oh, mad.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. 20th
I mean,
of January.
Yeah.
He's already been impeached again. So twice.
Yeah.
The first president ever to be impeached twice. Yeah. So it's a mess of a country over there right now.
Yeah. I don't.
Every country's a mess at the moment. I have to admit, it's
Yeah.
the state of the world at the moment.
Except for the ones that have sort of beaten coronavirus. I'm sure they're doing well. Must be nice to have
Isn't that
beaten coronavirus.
Isn't that New Zealand and Australia are the only ones that are doing well,
I think
isn't it?
New Zealand. I don't know
Yeah,
about
pretty
Australia.
much.
I'm pretty sure New Zealand beat it.
I know New Zealand did, but I
Yeah.
just can't remember if Australia
Must-
did. But yeah.
Must be nice.
One thing you
Yeah.
can give us though is we have a vaccine. We're the first ones to have the vaccine, so at least
Yeah,
we're
but we
on
still
top of
also
that.
have. I'm still pretty sure we have the most cases in all of Europe. So
I
the
think we have,
vaccine
like,
doesn't
a
really
death
mean
rate or
much in
something.
the long haul. That and
I
there's
mean-
now a second version of coronavirus that's been discovered.
That is
So,
the
yeah.
problem.
One
I
that's
think with the cases, I have
worse
to
than the
admit,
first
we do
one.
more testing. We do
Mm.
more testing. So with that, I have to kind of give us a break on that. But with the new strain, we are leading in deaths, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's it's not great, but
It isn't. But
It is what it is. It is.
what can we do, really, to be honest with you? There is
That's
nothing.
that's why I
we
don't
can
get
sit on
involved
a
in politics
podcast
because
and talk about it.
exactly.
We
Yeah.
can moan like the rest of the country.
I mean, we have that right. We have that right.
Yeah. There's really not been that much in the news, to be honest, other than that, has there?
Other than
No,
the man
no.
himself, there's Well, actually, no. There was the Bitcoin thing. Did you hear about that? Guy was locked out of his Bitcoin
I've
account.
heard. Yeah. I heard the guy. There were like 2 password attempts left or something like that.
It's- I'm
Oh.
sad for him, but it makes me crack up so much. It's like, how can you forget your passwords? 207 million.
It reminds me of one of the YouTube videos where have you heard of a YouTuber called Real Life Law on you? Have you heard of him?
Rings a bell. Rings a bell.
He does like those like geographical like things and stuff, and he
Oh, yeah.
talked about how this guy had a laptop where everything, all his business and all that was on there, and he's
Yeah.
the only person that knows the password to it. And one time, you would think, he would give the password to someone else or something. Nope,
Yeah.
this guy
No,
then died. Yeah, he passed away,
really.
and no one, and he lost like millions of like
Oh, for God.
everything that was on there it was just all it was just ridiculous. It was
I can't feel sorry for some of these people because they just make really silly decisions.
nah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
such important stuff.
It's an
It
interesting
makes me-
story. Actually, I can't.
It is quite interesting. Actually, send me
Yeah.
a link on Messenger, actually, Kutch. I kind of want to watch that video.
Yeah, I'll
That's
send it through.
hilarious. I
But
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I've got no idea what either of you are on about. This is the first I've heard of it.
Have you not
It
heard
was
about the Bitcoin thing at all?
No,
You know how,
No,
I don't,
really?
know what, I don't know what you're on about.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
it was kind of
So
it was
basically-
a little bit of a big.
I don't. Surprisingly, I don't really keep up with Bitcoin news.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
That's fair.
I don't really. I've just like Luke mentioned it the other day, and
I heard about it.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Luke.
yeah.
Shout out to Luke. We got to get him on. We got to get him on here.
I think you should. I think
Lad,
next
We
week.
need to get a guest host on here. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Indeed.
yeah,
I mean,
we're running out of ideas for the three of
Yeah.
us. We need a guest
is-
host on.
He's a proper gamer. He's got a new PC. He's got a mic as well. He's got the full
To be
nine
fair, we
yards.
did have an idea of what we wanted who we wanted to bring, but I don't know if
we
can say
did.
it.
We did have an idea for a guest host or maybe a set of guest hosts. We won't say anything right now until we could
Until we
confirm
get
anything.
closer.
But
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting one to do.
Yeah.
Guys, I've had an idea. We need to get Boris Johnson on the podcast.
Oh,
That'd be a
Yes.
really great idea.
He came to my university. Like
I
Yeah,
remember
you-
you
oh, yeah, I
saying
remember
you were not
Yeah,
happy
actually,
about that.
one day after I came home, before the second lockdown, he came to my university and he was just chilling and like testing the vaccine, not the vaccine, but like the corona testing stuff. And I don't know how I missed him. I could have asked him to come on the podcast.
I think I would have shook his hand and said bye, and then just walk away. That's probably what I
Bye.
would have said.
I would have unironically just asked him on the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm
the
sure
way-
he'd
It's
do
worth
it.
a try.
sure he'd
It's
do it.
worth a try, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can't,
sure
you can't
I'm
give up
sure
an
he
opportunity.
would do very well at a good old letterbox quiz.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Me
totally.
either. I think it should be me and Paul versus Boris Johnson. That would
Oh,
work.
yeah.
So I think that would work.
What
I
we're
think
doing it about politics as well, not just like movies, or we're going to challenge him quite a bit.
we could do politics. I guess Like I'll be down
politics.
for politics. I think you
Let's
would.
meet in the middle. Political movies. Let's do that. Political movies. You know, that's kind of in the middle, isn't it?
Yes. How many political movies can you name, Paul?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
Wonderful.
Can't think of any.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't think of anything like that.
What you been
cannot
up to? Let's just talk amongst us. Like, what have you been up to in these last few weeks, boys? How was like your Christmas
what?
and stuff?
I'm going to be a gentleman. Kush, I'll start with you.
For the past couple of weeks, it's been alright. I've just been doing assignments really and stuff like that. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass, and yeah, I've ruined my sleeping schedule now because I've been going to bed like pretty late, and I've been waking up
Yeah,
really late now. I know. So today I woke up at like 12:30. So that's
There was someone in my there was someone in my there was someone on my course who was posting up about he was going down to do his laundry at 4 o'clock in the morning.
What? Is
Right.
he... What?
That's a messed up sleeping schedule.
yeah,
That is very.
To be
unique.
fair, that's not a messed up sleeping schedule. That's a student sleeping schedule.
wouldn't that just wake up
You
like,
make a good
like
point.
neighbors or something? I don't know. Like, wouldn't that wake up anyone else around the block or something? Like,
Probably
it not?
not really. It's
Is it like
you can't really. unless you're like loud, you can't really hear anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Just don't
Yeah.
play music through a speaker. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blast it out your stereo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it can get really loud though, at times. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair
yeah,
enough, I guess. Yeah.
so it's not fun. But I'm still stuck at home anyway right now because of coronavirus. So
Yeah. Yay.
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 No work. Oh my god.
Yeah, I
rough.
haven't
I've got
been to
an
work or
idea. Should we
anything.
do a lockdown anniversary episode? You know, we get to the date of the lockdown last year. What
But
anniversary?
March, it's only 2 months away, isn't it? It's only been,
Yeah,
it's only been a year. It'll
Yeah,
soon
it'll
been a
be
year.
soon. It's 20. Was it like
wild.
22nd? I think.
That's
Wait,
wild.
it
We
is
should have
wild.
started this podcast in the first lockdown, to be honest. Why did it
Yeah.
take us so long?
Yeah.
Oh, we could have had
Well,
so
we
many
thought we'd be
episodes
out
out.
of it.
Oh well, this year will go quick anyway, so it's fine. So
Yeah.
then we'll
Well,
get
hopefully.
to and we'll get to our 1 year anniversary of this podcast, and yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a
Well-
good one. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
I do have our next major special planned out, boys.
Easter.
It's not Easter.
Oh,
I didn't even think
no.
about Easter, to be honest.
Oh,
Easter's like BTEC Christmas anyway.
that's true.
But I have our next special episode planned out.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
It'll be in May. It'll be about
May the fourth be with you. I'm pitching that. I think it's going to be that.
that's the idea, lad.
That's correct. That's
It's not going to be out on May the 4th, but it is going to be recorded on May the 4th and then out on that Friday. So we're going to do a Star Wars special.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
That's fun. I mean, it's
And
the Force
hopefully
is with
by
you that
then
week.
we'll have been able to sit down with Kush and he'll have been able to watch at least the first Star Wars because we're gonna
Yeah.
make him watch all of
Yeah.
them and the
I would just do
Mandalorian.
1, 3, 6 couple episodes of Mandalorian. You're sorted. I mean, they're pretty good films.
Yeah, we're gonna make him do. We're gonna make him do 1, 3, 6.
Yeah.
What, 1, 3, 6? 1 through 6. Sorry.
1 through.
Gonna make him watch all of the Mandalorian, maybe all of the Clone Wars,
You're pushing him
maybe
in the deep
all
end
of
there. I haven't
Rebels.
watched Clone Wars.
and we might even watch 7, 8, and 9 if we feel like doing that to ourselves.
Oh, come on. Not even I've watched 8 and 9. I mean, 7, I got through
Seven
that.
isn't bad. Oh, Rogue One.
Just a
And
repeat.
well,
no, Rogue
we can
One's pretty good.
we can skip Solo. Everyone skips Solo. Rogue One's worth it though. Rogue One's good.
That is pretty good.
We'll skip Solo because nobody cares. The Ewok movies, we should probably watch those.
I'm intrigued, Matt. I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
They
really
are
intrigued
dog
for
shit,
those,
mate.
so-
They're hilarious, but they are garbage. Like,
Tell you what, when lockdown's over, alcohol. We're gonna watch those films. We're just gonna take the mick out of them.
Well, we do
I
have,
look forward.
we do have one drunk film viewing already planned,
Oh,
which we were
yes.
supposed to
Yeah.
do and then talk about on this podcast ages ago.
I swear that was supposed to be one of our first episodes.
It was
talking
going
about
to probably coincide with the Christmas special. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably a good thing we didn't have it in there because the Christmas special was already our
that.
longest
It was
episode.
about an hour and a half, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, good.
But I plan on making these boys experience The Room,
I'm
which
looking forward to it.
for anyone who might have seen it, it's very niche. You've got to really want to see it to have watched it, because it is. If you don't have this just weird sense of humor and you enjoy bad movies because they're bad, you probably won't enjoy it.
Dude, I've watched Monty Python. I'm sure I'll be fine with this. Trust me.
They don't compare, mate. They don't compare. The Room is
This is worse.
the Room is on another level. It's in its own.
I wanna
I
put a
can't
little
wait.
thing up
I can't
there.
wait. I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna say
bashing Monty
anything
Python.
because neither of you have seen it, but I cannot wait. I
No.
cannot wait for that.
No, none of them spoilers. None of them spoilers.
I
All surprises.
love The Room. It's hilarious. It's so good.
Forward to it.
well, not
I
really, but it
look
is.
forward to it.
I'm looking forward to you guys watching that.
It's gonna be good.
And then we'll probably get into Star Wars and because
Yeah.
I do want to watch The Mandalorian with you, but I want to watch something good with you guys.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Yeah.
and it'd just be cool to see Kush watch Star Wars for the first time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, he's watched Marvel and stuff, so he's not.
Yeah,
He's not watching.
yeah.
He's a media
Tell you
student
what.
who has never seen a Star Wars film. That is like unheard of.
Oh my god.
But Matt, take it this way. I hadn't seen Pulp Fiction until about 2 weeks ago, and I'm a media student.
fair
so
enough.
I'll let him off on that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess it's Star Wars though, so you know.
To
It's
be
like,
fair, I'll make a confession. I've never seen the Terminator films, so
No?
Neither have
yeah.
I. This
Oh,
episode
wow.
should be titled Confessions. It's just confessing that we're media
Confessing
students.
to movies we have never seen.
Yeah, it's scoundrel is what it is. Absolute
Hmm.
scoundrel.
everyone's just there watching us, being like, "Wow, how have you never seen this movie? What the hell? Like, what? Like, how could you? Never seen Terminator?
But to be fair, films peaked for me when I saw The Room, so I don't really need to watch anything else.
Is it really
you watch
this
The
bad of a
Room-
movie? Gee.
Yeah, well, once you watch The Room, films have peaked. You can't watch another one afterwards.
Yeah, I'm
Straight
kind of
onto
worried.
TV.
Speaking of films, we'll move into our main crux.
Yes, I was thinking
this
we're getting a
podcast.
bit too far. Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about some recent Disney Plus releases.
Yeah.
Two very different topics. We're gonna be talking about firstly the new Pixar film that just came out. The gonna say it right now, incredible Soul. So good, so good.
It
And we're
touched
also
my
going to
soul.
be talking about WandaVision, which
Yeah.
just came out on Friday.
Friday.
From
It's Friday,
yeah, first two episodes. We are going to be talking about spoilers. We are going to be discussing
Yes.
both
Yeah.
in a good bit of detail. So if you haven't watched either, you're
Watch him
probably
now.
going to want to tune out now. Thanks for listening. If you've watched one or the other, we'll leave some timestamps in the description
Yeah.
for this episode, so you can kind of skip through the episode and just make sure you don't get spoiled, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to WandaVision but you don't want Soul spoiled, or you want to listen to Soul,
Yeah.
I guess you could just turn off after Soul, because we're going to be talking about WandaVision afterwards.
Yeah.
Or if you're just not interested in one, we'll leave timestamps in so you can skip from one
Yeah.
to the other.
Yep.
Sounds like a
But
plan.
yeah, so we'll give you a quick warning now, because we're about to start talking about Soul. If you haven't watched Soul yet, click away now. Either skip
Watch
to
it.
WandaVision if you want to hear that, or if you want to just tune out now for no spoilers, because we don't really have anything else planned for this podcast. We can't do another tier list
No.
because we've done too many.
Oh, is it?
So if you want to tune out now,
God.
thank you for listening. I guess you didn't really listen to much, but thanks
Just
for listening.
ramble,
We'll
rambling.
see you in the next 2 weeks. We'll come with a little bit more planned for the next episode, because we didn't really we didn't really have anything lined up for today. So yeah. So if you don't want any spoilers for either, last warning right now, click off. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Okay. Only the cool people who have seen the movies are left now.
Lost a load of fans there instantly.
So
US, that 10% in US, that's just gone.
we've
now.
lost our
That's just gone.
US 10%. Honestly,
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
that 1% we had that was in some unknown
Oh.
region, they have gone completely.
They're
Yeah,
not
they've
going to be
clocked
unknown. They will be commenting on our videos.
They
will
have
be, they won't
clocked
be
out.
unknown
They
anymore.
are. They're angry. But yeah. So Soul. Did either of you? I'm guessing both you boys will have seen
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Good thing.
Yesterday, I wanted it fresh in my mind.
So quick breakdown, because we'll talk about plot and stuff. Quick breakdown. Kush, Paul, what did you think of Soul?
Kush, go first, mate.
I really enjoyed the movie. I think it was really interesting, honestly. It was very it got straight to the point, if you get what I mean. So like, the start of the
Yeah.
movie, like it wasn't like dragged in that. Like we saw there and then that he died, like, and then But I thought when I watched the movie first time, I thought it was going to be a
He
wow.
did.
Yeah,
Can I be honest quickly? Where I didn't see any trailers for this movie. I'd
Neither
seen
did I, neither did I.
nothing other than the poster.
well, yeah,
Other than the poster that was on Instagram, and then on
Yeah.
the on the like the card for it on Disney Plus, I genuinely hadn't seen any trailers. I hadn't
Yeah,
heard
I'm the
anything about
same.
this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was about. And
Yeah.
So I'm
I mean, at
completely
the start,
same here.
they're playing like jazz and like soul music and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, okay, so that's what it's about.
yeah.
And then he gets the role, and I'm sort of thinking, okay, well, I know there were the little blue characters, so where's this going? And then
Yeah.
about 20 minutes in, he just fucking dies.
Yeah.
It goes
He just
I was
dead.
just like, what? I was so surprised. I was like,
It
this
was
is a
yeah.
Pixar movie. And the main character,
That's,
and they don't shy away from it either. They just
No,
straight
the
up tell
thing
you he's
is-
dead.
that's
They
the
do
thing that I quite like about it because they
They
deal
show
with
him in
like, really,
hospital and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just dies, and I was so surprised. It was
He did.
I genuinely didn't know what I was just thinking in my head, like, this is a bit dark for Pixar, is it not? Just kill off the main character 25
Tell you what,
minutes
though.
into the movie, and
Tell
then
you
they
what, guys,
just tell you he is dead. Like, they don't shy away from it.
No, but
It is.
that Matt, that is what's good about the movie. Though, 'cause
It
they
is
take child
what's good
films
about
and-
it. It's
Yeah, it's different
it doesn't
themes connected
sugarcoat
in
any
one.
of it. It's just
Yeah,
but that is
shows
all.
it as it is.
So I do have one issue. It's not even really an issue.
go
I
on.
do have one sort of observation about this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Paul, sorry, quickly, do you want to say what you sort of thought of
Well,
Soul?
I mean, like I said, they dealt with like child themes and adult themes all in one. They didn't shy, and I think the overall message of the film was just really great. At the end, they kind of emphasised on that. Which
Yeah.
it was quite emotional. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite an emotional film.
Yeah.
So
Really, really good.
yeah. So what I thought of it, going off of what you said. So first of all, I did think this was incredible. I thought this was one of Pixar's best films. And actually, a side tangent, that's sort of what I've noticed about Pixar films recently. And people I'll probably get some backlash for saying this, but when Pixar makes like brand new films that haven't been done before, aren't a sequel, stuff like Coco, like Soul, like Inside Out, when they make stuff like that, except for The Good Dinosaur, they are like genuinely still like quality. They're still so good.
Yeah.
I think where Pixar struggles now is they keep trying to make sequels, and I don't think the
Yeah,
sequels.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
their
I see what you're
sequels
coming
are really struggling.
Yeah. Because when you see the sequels, they kind of drop.
Yeah,
Right.
and like not struggling as in like they don't do well, because they definitely do, and they do better
Yeah.
than like their new original movies. But I think that's the problem. I think Disney is starting to go at it with the idea of we need to make a lot of money. Let's make a
Yeah,
Toy Story
and-
sequel, or let's do an Incredibles sequel. And it's just like, I don't think the sequels now, because Pixar have done good sequels before. Like Toy Story 2
absolutely.
is
Toy Story is brilliant.
Toy Story
Like,
2
yeah.
is my favorite Toy Story film out of the four.
It's definitely better than the first. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, and Toy Story 3 as well. Toy Story 3 is also top tier. But
Emotional again.
then like
Very
you look at
emotional.
stuff like Finding Dory was not very good. Cars 2 is the worst Pixar film there is. Cars 3 is okay. Cars 3 is okay. It's nothing really special. It's kind of a retread of the first, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2, unpopular opinion, I didn't think was that good.
I can't see where you come from, to be honest with you.
I thought it was
Yeah.
really boring, to be honest. Like,
I see where you come from, though. Yeah.
Thing is, what you got to think about, guys, is that it destroys the magic in a lot of senses when you're doing like sequels.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, does
And-
it?
and-
It's
well, hold on, because
works.
if saying Incredibles 2 wasn't very good is controversial, then what I'm about to say is going to be the most controversial thing that might have been said on this podcast.
I'm looking forward to this.
Toy Story 4 is nothing special, and it is not even close to being as good as the other three are. It is not even in the same league. It is
Here's something else
miles behind.
controversial.
Really?
I've never watched Toy Story 4. That's something
Toy
controversial.
Story before it is so far behind in quality
Really?
compared to the other three. It's not even a competition.
I've heard it's not.
It is. It's the worst.
compared.
It's not even a case of it's a bad movie. It's just
Comparatively.
well, not even comparatively, because like there are so many Pixar films I'd put above Toy Story 4. Like it's just not a. It's not, and I see people always being like, "Oh yeah, no, it's as good as the others, if not like it's the best one." And I'm just like, is it though? Because
I would say decent.
like
I would say
there's people who say it's like top tier, and then they say like it's mainly because it's a Toy Story film, and they're like it shouldn't get a free pass because it's a
No,
Toy Story
yeah.
film, because it's just not. It's not bad, but it's like it's just lacking. I feel like
Oh,
Toy
I
Story
get
3
you.
I feel like Toy Story 3 was just such a like a good ending.
It was
And it's
brilliant.
I said it
was brilliant.
before I said I saw the movie. I was like, this doesn't need to be made. And then I came out of the film, and my immediate reaction to it was all
I
right,
was right.
but it still didn't need to be made.
oh,
It's just not a story that needed to be told. And it just kind of nullifies the ending of Toy Story 3, which is just so it's like the perfect ending to both a film and to Toy Story. Like it was like the perfect ending for it, and Toy Story 4 just
Should've-
kind of nullifies it.
Should have gone the Marvel route and done TV series. That might
It's-
have made it a bit better.
It's kind of like it's kind of sort of one of the issues people have with the Star Wars sequels as well. It's like Return of the
Yeah.
Jedi is such a good ending for that story, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the other three sequels kind of come in and nullify Return of the Jedi. It's kind of the same thing as that. It's like Toy Story 3 was like a perfect ending, and Toy Story 4, while it isn't bad, it just didn't really need to be made because it just kind of
Lacking
nullified it.
creativity.
do you think that the story was just like you're just saying that the story is just really unnecessary?
The story was lacking in Toy Story 4 as well, to be honest. It's
Okay, I can kind of see where you come from there. Then, to be honest, with you,
I'm,
because
I'm not gonna lie, I saw the ending coming 3 minutes into the film.
really,
As soon as I guess it's kind of spoilers.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay,
sorry,
do-
Paul.
Do
The minute Bo Peep gets sold at the start of Toy Story 4, I knew what the
Yeah.
ending was, and I knew what route they were going.
oh, okay.
I
mean,
like it was kind of the same with Incredibles 2 as well. It's the same kind of issue I had there. It's like I knew who the villain was, like well before you're supposed. And I know it's a kids movie, but it's like it's kind of lazy writing in a way. Like you
Yeah.
can still pull twists and turns in a kids movie. You don't
Yeah.
have to go with this really like obvious setup.
No, I get you. I'll have to watch it, but I won't have high hopes for it. I won't have high hopes. I never have, to be honest, because it's just Toy Story 3, like you said,
It's like-
perfect ending.
And
Perfect.
it's like Soul kind of proves it, because I didn't see Soul coming by far. I know I didn't watch trailers or anything for it.
Yeah.
But Soul was like really like most of Soul was a surprise. Like I didn't see any of
Yeah.
it coming.
There were so many
I
twists.
didn't really
and turns
see
in it. I was
what was
shocked.
that other one that came out recently? Onward. I didn't really see
Onward,
most of that coming
yeah.
either.
yeah,
And it's like again, when they do new ones, they are really good. But when they do the sequels, they've recently really let the sequels like slack. And it's
yeah,
I feel like they want to just still keep making like the original like brand new movies with new characters and stuff, because that was always how Pixar used to be sort of when we were kids. Like they didn't want to do sequels, they wanted to do brand new
back in the
movies, brand
day.
new characters. And then whenever
Yeah.
they do the sequels, then I feel like they don't really want to do them, but Disney sort of say like, yeah, you have to do this
It's for
sequel,
quick
this
buck.
sequel, this sequel.
just for the money and that.
Like
It's
and
for
that,
Toy
quick buck,
Story,
innit? It's not
Toy Story's in
creative.
demand. You have to make a Toy Story. You left Incredibles on a cliffhanger. You have to make a new Incredibles. Finding Nemo was kind of good, and you know, like Dory was popular, so you have to make Finding Dory. What else was there? Cars 2 made a lot of money, so you have to do. Well, Cars 1 did a lot of money, so you have to make more car movies.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. is loved,
God,
so
yeah.
you have to make a prequel, which nobody really asked for.
No, no one really.
It was,
no one
it
really
was
did
all right, that prequel, but it wasn't.
Monsters University's kind of. There's some things I like
It's
about
meh.
it. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's a very meh movie.
I think it's just pointless.
But
to be honest with you.
yeah. So
I'll tell you
that-
what,
that's
guys.
kind of what I've noticed about Pixar films. People can disagree, obviously.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
if you
obviously.
like, if you like toys, if you really, really like Toy Story 4 and you think it's better than the others, then like more power to you. If you really liked Incredibles, that's fine. If you like the sequels, perfect, good for you. But
Yeah.
just something I've noticed when they do their new movies like Inside Out, Coco, Soul, which we're really meant to be talking about here. Like they're really good, but when they make the sequels, it's
It ruins it.
it,
It just yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah,
they-
okay,
ruins it,
yeah.
I think.
it's
I
it's
really-
case it's sort of a case of like the second is never as good as the original,
Yeah.
and it's I've yeah. But anyway, back to Soul.
Back
To
to
be fair,
Soul.
some sequels do work, but like just some just
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like they've
Not-
made
not
good.
Pixar.
I'm not saying they've made bad sequels.
Yeah.
They've made all bad sequels because like Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 are still really good sequels.
Yeah.
It's just like the amount of recent Pixar sequel films that have been coming out just aren't good, or they're
Yeah,
not,
there's
like,
some-
they're fine, but they could be like better. And
Yeah.
like, there's proof they could be better because Pixar is still making like
It's
amazing
still
films.
making good single films, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's.
Yeah.
I really think there's only been one bad like original Pixar film, and that's
What's that?
it's not even really bad. It's just boring and forgettable. And it's The Good Dinosaur, which I don't think many people
Yeah.
disagree with. Isn't a great film,
Yeah.
but that's kind of
agree with
like
that.
that's kind of like the only one. They've not really done another like bad original film.
No.
But anyway, that tangent over.
Yeah.
Soul was really good. So basically, the plot of Soul is there's a music teacher called Joe Gardner, played by Jamie Foxx, who's great.
Hey,
Electro and that.
Alex, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, he wants sort of more out of life, and he wants to like play at. It was at this club, and he wants to. I can't remember the other characters' names.
No, I don't
There's a
remember.
club, and he gets invited to play there. He wants something more. He doesn't want to be just a music teacher. He wants to like perform.
Yeah.
He gets invited for an opportunity. He goes for the opportunity. He smashes it, and he lands and he lands a chance to play. And then he dies.
Yeah.
and then he just
He
dies.
just
and,
drops dead. He's just
falls
gone.
down, he falls down a manhole, and he just straight up dies. And
And he was dancing while he fell down. I was like,
yeah,
what
and
is
then
going on
the whole
here?
movie just takes a shift, and he goes to a soul world where you've got Richard Ayoade, who's great. He plays one of the Jerrys.
Jerry.
Yeah. Graham Norton was in this film as well. That was a
Yeah, I
surprise.
know. I guessed it the moment I heard him speak.
Graham
because
Norton playing this weird like it was such a
hippie, would you
perfect
say
role.
hippie character?
Yeah, it's kind of like a hippie, maybe on something. But it was
Come out of
such
those
it
mushrooms.
was so good. He was like that was such a perfect casting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel it was pretty good, you know. Most of the castings were pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, so he dies and he's being sent to the Great Beyond, but he doesn't want to go to the Great Beyond. Obviously, he's just got his life into order, so he
Yeah.
goes to the Great Before. Was it called something like that? Where there's like all these new souls.
Yeah, great before.
And he tricks
Again with you, I can't remember.
Yeah, and he tricks
Yeah.
the people in charge into thinking he's like going to be a mentor to one of the new souls, and his plan is to literally just like use this new soul to get back to Earth because he still wants his shot. Because he thinks his life has amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
So he gets this sort of dysfunctional soul, and there was something I really liked this about the film as well. When they introduce you to 22, you think, okay, well, he's going to show her music and she's going to like music and stuff. But they don't. Like, she just straight up doesn't like the music that he plays. And I was thinking, like, they could have easily just made this, like, she gets into the music, he teaches her the music, and then she becomes a soul, but that's not what they do. And
I
that was
thought they were going to take that
See-
simple route, but I
yeah,
was
that's not
impressed.
the route they go with, and that's
No.
really good. It was funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see the
They
character
try,
straight from there.
yeah, so they try all these other things in the soul world, and nothing works. Eventually they do get back to Earth, but 22 ends up in Joe's body. Joe ends up in the cat's body.
A cat.
Like 22 just discovers that what she loves about life is just like the small random things that you kind of just forget about, like pizza and
Pizza.
trees and walking and talking and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
and so the movie goes on. They do go back to the soul world. There's no real villain in this movie.
No, it's just
No,
There's the guy.
themselves are the villain.
There's the Terry guy who's hunting them down and trying to bring them back to the soul world, but he's not really a villain. He's just doing his
Oh,
job.
He's just
He's
Yeah.
just like over the top about his job, so he's not even really a bad. He's barely in the film either.
you know those souls, right? You know those souls where you met in
Yeah.
the Great Beyond? I thought they were going to do something. I thought they were going to figure out maybe a way to bring him back to the Great Beyond or something like that.
Yeah.
But they
Um,
genuinely played like as normal people. Like they actually they helped him to
Yeah, but
get
like
back to
it's really it's good. Like he finally gets this opportunity, he gets a new suit, new haircut, he reconnects with his
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
They do go back to the soul world, and he gets to go back to his body. He does manage to cheat the system, go back to his body. And he goes to play his performance, and he realizes like it's just not what he thought it was going to be. He realizes
No.
it wasn't going to be as good. Like he ticks off the life goal, but he thinks like it's kind of dead once he's done it.
Yeah.
And like that's
Yeah.
relatable because
Yeah,
I've-
absolutely.
I think everyone's been there where you've ticked off like a goal and then you've kind of just been deflated afterwards because you think, well, what now?
Yeah.
So yeah, so he does that. He goes to Soul World. He gives 22 a chance at life. They kind of discover the meaning of life in this film,
Yeah.
which was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And then he gets to go back, and he gets a second chance at life when he finally accepts death. He gets another chance at life, which
The irony.
yeah, it was
This
a
is
little bit. I do kind of wish. Part of me does wish he did just die at the end and went to the great beyond, because like that would have been very different for a Pixar
Well,
film.
I actually think it was quite important though, Matt, because it's kind of
I know, and
the fact that you only have one chance.
There are
and you
two
don't
good
wanna
ways of
waste
looking
it.
at it. I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, it could have been like he's discovered that realistically his life was not as bad as he thought it was. That he got to do some great things, and now he
Yeah.
accepts it, and he moves on, and he accepts that's the end, and he's
Yeah.
happy when he's going to the great beyond. He accepts it. He's happy his life wasn't nothing, and I feel like that
Yeah.
could have been a really impactful ending. I'm not saying the ending's not impactful, because it is.
Yeah.
I think either way they could have done it. It was a great.
It
been
would
a
have
good
been
ending.
brilliant either way, wouldn't it?
I think either way it was a great ending. If he died and moved on to the great beyond, that would have been a great ending.
I thought he
But
was.
he lives, and that's also a great ending. Like
Yeah.
There was no
So-
way to end the film bad. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It was.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. It took me by surprise. This might be one of my favorite Pixar films.
I could agree with that, to be honest with you. as well.
It's so good for different reasons. I think I
Yeah.
agree with it because it's so deep, and I think that's it's not so action packed. It's more deep, and I think that's
Yeah, it's
what's
Yeah.
amazing.
probably one of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there is one like thing I have noticed about Soul in particular,
Yeah.
and it's kind of I don't really know how to put this, because this might just be me looking too deep into it. But it kind of seems to me like these movies aren't really being made with like children in mind anymore. Like
Really?
Soul doesn't feel
Uh,
like it's a kids film. It feels more like it's a film directed more towards like young
Yeah.
adults and like adults.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like kids couldn't get like anything out of it, but I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like I'm trying to put myself like back in my mind because we all used to watch Pixar when we were younger. Like
Oh yeah.
we all grew up on like Toy Story and Cars and stuff. I'm just trying to put myself in that like mindset. Like if I was younger watching this, like around the same age those films had come out, and I
Mhm.
watched Soul, would
Yeah.
I have enjoyed it as much as I do now that I'm older? Because I kind of don't think I would have. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think like kids are gonna get like the whole. And I saw an article about this as well because I saw someone saying like I sat my kids down and asked them like what was going on midway through the movie, and they literally just said, "Oh, the cat is funny."
Oh, really?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and
I've
that's kind of what I see. Like, kids aren't gonna get like all of the really like philosophical stuff about death and the meaning of life
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
getting a
It just
second
doesn't
chance. Stuff. They're
comprehend
just
to
gonna
them.
think. They're just gonna think like the souls are cute or like the cat's funny. So
Yeah.
I kind of it does kind of make me wonder: are Pixar still making films like this with like? Because I kind of wonder. I know they've always been a studio that's kind of like for kids and adults, but like this film in particular seemed like very adult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I feel
think
that's not a
it's
bad thing though.
it's not a bad thing.
No,
No,
it's not.
I
It's
think
not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
an observation I made in the movie. Again,
Yeah.
maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe I'm just like looking too deep into a movie that's not really that deep at all.
I
But
think Matt. I
Yeah.
think the thing is because we ourselves are getting a lot older now. We can't understand
yeah,
things. Also, I suppose we will naturally look deeper.
maybe
But I do
that
agree.
is
I think
just
they're getting more
that is just
educational.
the case. Maybe they are
Yeah.
making it for a slightly older audience because they know that's who's going to get the most out of these movies. Like they
Yeah.
know people who grew up with Pixar are still going to go on watch new Pixar movies. So maybe that's why they're trying to make it for sort of maybe people our age or people older rather than doing it for. Because again, I'm not saying kids couldn't get anything out of this movie,
No.
but like
It's just that we would
maybe
understand.
that's some like grand master plan Pixar have. Like this Toy Story Incredible sequels and stuff are like for younger people,
Yeah.
and then like films like Soul and stuff are for like the older audience. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe it's like this grand master plan they've got or something.
Yeah.
Maybe the head of Pixar is a
Perhaps.
lizard man. Like who knows?
Just change it. Just change it.
Yeah.
It's
But
changing.
regardless of anything, Soul is very, very good.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth the watch. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
rate it
absolutely.
5 star out of 5 stars. What would you boys rate it?
I'm going 4.5. I'm going 4.5.
Yeah. I was gonna say 4.5 as well. Yeah. I'll say
I'm
Yeah.
gonna agree with that and say 4.5.
Yeah.
It was very, very good movie. It's
fingers crossed they don't bring out.
yeah,
a
like
sequel.
I said earlier, Pixar are always
I agree with that.
yeah.
Fingers crossed they don't bring out. If they do,
Yeah.
that we're done.
I don't really
We're
know
done.
how you
I
could
will
make a
cry. I
sequel
will
to
cry.
this.
No, you can't.
That's the thing.
I was
Like
gonna
with
say, it's like
maybe with Inside Out, I could see it, but like with
Yeah.
with films like Coco and Soul, I can't really see how you could make sequels for those movies.
Just leave them as
just-
it is.
On-
really.
Onward, you probably could.
work.
Onward, you probably could. But like some of the other ones, like I
just-
don't really see how you can make sequels out of them.
Soul would not work because the whole point is it's you choose your own destiny. It's that
Yeah.
message, and that's just
But-
if you tell us what the destiny is, that's not
Yeah.
going to work.
But
Yeah.
but no, one of the probably the best movie I saw in all of 2020, to be honest, because there wasn't really much coming out, was there?
Obvious. Yeah.
So probably the best movie I saw in 2020. Definitely one of Pixar's best. On Disney Plus, go watch it. You can literally watch it from the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd still be listening to this if you haven't seen it, because we just kind of
Please.
spoiled the whole movie. But it's a very good film. It's a very good film.
Yeah.
I guess we can move on and talk about the other thing that's come out recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Also Disney owned as well, which
also Disney owned. Marvel's first. I can't say Marvel's first live action series 'cause it's not. Marvel's first. I I don't want to say good. Marvel's first. Well, it is good, but Marvel's first like major Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus.
Yeah, Marvel's first major Disney Plus show is finally out. WandaVision. And I was going to be honest. I wasn't as excited for this as other people were.
Same.
But after those first 2 episodes, I'm very excited for the next one.
Yeah.
It like changed my opinion of it so quickly with that first episode. It's
I have to admit, it took me to episode 2 to get to that point, but
I do think episode 2 is the better episode out of the 2, but I was already hooked from episode 1, to be honest.
Really
I think they are trying something new because it's a very weird concept, but I think that's a good thing.
Honestly, part of me doesn't want it to go back to like the typical like Marvel like action way it's shot, firing like laser bolts and stuff at each other. I kind of want it to stay in this weird, creepy. It's like I Love Lucy meets like Marvel meets Twilight Zone. It's like all of these like it's really weird. Like because I love the way it's shot. First of all, I love the way they do the effects. Like they do the effects as if it's a 50s or a 60s program.
Yeah.
Like they do like the little cuts and stuff, and
it's
like they do it all in black and white.
That has been thought about.
Yeah, and they do it all in black and white. Like the camera angles they use. It all looks like an almost authentic like 60s television show. Like, as far as it goes, it's like a good parody of like one of those like 50s, 60s sitcoms.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's just like when you get into like the actual like creepy Marvel, well, it's even sort of the creepier moments in this, it almost doesn't feel Marvel to me. Like spoilers, obviously, coming up for WandaVision. But like the scene with the beekeeper in episode 2, or like the stop it bit in episode 1.
Yeah.
They're very sort of Twilight Zone to me.
Yeah, they are.
Rather than being like something out of Marvel. They're very like something from, I guess it's because they play up the creepy factor. But like something you'd see out of like, especially with the black and white and stuff, it's like something you'd see out of like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But it's really good and it's funny.
It's really interesting though.
It's funny, it's weird, it's good.
I'll tell you what, and I said this yesterday to you guys, because you know the scene with the helicopter in it. It's got that color editing. What do you call it? Color editing, and you see it in Schindler's List with the little girl. I think that's really clever how they've used that. Really clever.
Here's what I've noticed as well. That wasn't the first color to appear in the episode. If you look very closely, it's hard to notice. If you look closely in the first episode, you know when they're in the commercial, and they have the Stark toaster, which first of all, well, the little commercial bits where they have the Tony Stark, they have the Stark toaster.
Yeah.
In the second episode, they have the Von Strucker, they have like the Hydra watch.
Yeah.
Those are good. Something I noticed was pointed out. They're each of their creators as well. Like Von Strucker made Scarlet Witch, and Tony Stark made Vision.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little thing that someone pointed out to me. But like, if you look closely in that commercial bit in the first episode, there's actually a red button that's beeping and lighting up on the toaster, and it's in red. It's not in black and white.
Oh,
that was the first one I noticed because I spotted it and I was like, that button's not in black and white. That's in color. And then they did it again with the red helicopter in the second episode, and then again with the blood. So it's like they were only letting red pour through. I guess because it's like Scarlet Witch and stuff. Like,
I guess I had some interesting things about this. I'm going beyond as well.
Yeah. I think I have an idea for what they're gonna do with this series.
Yeah, we'll hear your idea. What do you think?
So my theory of what they're gonna do with this, because that was a sword. Like, I don't know if you noticed it. There's all the sword logos dotted around the place, like on the back of the beekeeper. There's one on the helicopter. There was the guy watching the TV. He had a sword logo.
Yeah.
What I think is going on is maybe. So this is we know like Scarlet Witch can bend reality and stuff already.
Yeah.
So I think she's created like this false perfect reality based on like sitcoms she's seen on TV and stuff
Yeah.
to deal with
Yeah.
her loss of vision, because obviously she wouldn't know what the perfect married life is. She'd go by what she'd seen on like TV and stuff, which would be like sitcoms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like someone we haven't been introduced yet has maybe gotten into her head and is maybe playing with it a bit to try and hurt someone outside. Because if you notice, when she's before the bit with the blood and they're like, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" bit in the second episode,
Yeah. Who's doing it to you?
something she says is she says like, I didn't want to hurt anyone, or I don't want to hurt anyone." So I
Yeah.
feel like maybe she was trying to just make her own reality to deal with the loss of vision, and someone's gotten to her and is using that to cause damage.
I've
And
not
I
thought
don't
about
think
that, but
Sword.
yeah.
I don't think Sword are the bad guys. I think Sword are trying to break into the reality to get her out, and that's
Yeah.
why there's a Sword
Okay.
helicopter. There's the Sword beekeeper. I feel like
Yes.
maybe someone from Sword's trying to get in there and pull them out, or
Yes.
and like that's who
So
the phone calls from as well. The phone calls
yeah.
from someone at Sword saying like, "Who's doing this to you?" Like there's Sword trying to break through the false reality to try and pull Wanda out of it, because
Yeah.
they know someone's controlling it. That's where I think it's going.
I think that's a fair point, to be honest with you.
That's
I think that's
a very good
pretty
theory.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's Sword logo to her. So all I know is that Sword is like an organization. It's like the Shield, but
It's
based in
kind of like
space.
Shield but in space.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna say I'm not so familiar with them because obviously, like comics, I've not
Yeah,
really read them.
Sword
Yeah.
is Sword was, and my comic knowledge is sort of not as great as others. So I'm sure someone who knows it better than I would say, but to my knowledge, from what I kind of know, Sword is a organization which
Yeah.
was kind of a subdivision of Shield,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
had access to futuristic alien technology and used it to kind of make an like an out of space sort of version of Shield,
Yeah.
kind of monitor alien activity. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
think they got the tech from Kang the Conqueror. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to Marvel comics.
No, I've heard of
Um,
these. But yeah.
I'm probably an expert when it comes to the films, but like I'm not
Yeah.
an expert on the comics whatsoever. But I kind
Well,
of maybe know
No, a
sort of what it
brief
is.
idea. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
what I think Sword is. I don't know if that's what Sword is in this, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's
Yeah.
what Sword is in the comics.
Yeah. I've been hearing that I have a feeling that do you know the end of the post credit scene for Far From Home?
Yeah.
You know when Nick Fury is in space? I have a feeling
Yeah.
that there is some sort of a connection between that.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think so. Yeah.
There is one slight hole in my Sword theory, or if them
Yeah.
trying to pull her out of the reality. Something that kind of does leave me a little bit like, is that connected or not?
Yeah.
Because I said like one of the beekeepers are coming to pull her out or something like that.
Yeah.
Something else I've noticed though is at the end of the second episode when they zoom out and you hear the voice going like, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?"
Yeah.
It's in the shape of a hive.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
Yeah.
maybe, and the guy had a sword, and it was a beekeeper. So maybe it's not Sword trying to pull her out. Maybe it's Sword who has control of her. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't think Sword are meant to be like villains though. So
No, I don't see them as villains.
I don't know if that's
Unless it's like
connected or
Shield where they had Hydra taking control of it, it might be something like that. But
it could be.
I guess
So
You know-
I don't know. Maybe my theory's correct. Maybe I'm waffling. Maybe I'm chatting shit. I
no, it's
don't know.
just good. It's
If I'm
good.
right though, Marvel Studios hire me as a writer. I'll happily.
Oh yeah.
happily come work. But yeah, that's kind of where I think they're going with it.
You know what?
Yeah.
I have another thing as well, actually. So over the radio when someone's actually saying like, I think there was when there was a voice coming off from the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that apparently the person who the voice is actually from Ant-Man. From Ant-Man.
Oh, I
know
heard
the-
this as well. Jimmy Woo.
Yes,
I haven't heard this.
I've
It
heard.
was,
What's
it,
this?
was, it was the agent who had Ant-Man on house arrest in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Which,
Him.
fun fact, we went to see in the cinemas. Paul, you
We
and I.
did. We did, didn't we?
I can specifically remember it because it was the day before KSI versus Logan Paul 1.
Oh god, yeah, we were talking about that quite a lot.
We
weren't
were talking about it on the way there. I can specifically remember it for that reason. But yeah, no. Jimmy Woo, and I listened to a comparison on YouTube, and they are very similar. The two voices.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. Yeah. But
I feel
that
like he'd kind of be an obscure character, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe not. It's Marvel.
I'll tell
nothing
you what,
is
and
obscure.
I'll tell you what, and this might be quite like out there, but do you think it's perhaps Doctor Strange or someone like that? Because you got to think that film at the end of this year, not this year, 2022.
I think Doctor Strange could maybe play a part in this because
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch is
is in
the next Doctor Strange film.
Yeah.
So
I think he will appear at the end. I think he will appear near
Do you
towards
think
the
he'll
end.
be?
and then on top of that, there's all the rumors that Doctor Strange is going to play a major part in the next Spider-Man movie as well, because they've cast Jamie Foxx as Electro and they've cast Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus, and
I'm
there's
so
the
looking
rumors
forward to
they've
that
cast
one.
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
I can't.
So
I am just excited. I'm so hyped for that one.
if they I
Oh,
mean
beautiful.
the Doctor Strange film is called The Multiverse of
The
Madness.
multiverse,
so
exactly. Yeah.
I kind of wonder, could Doctor Strange play a part in this series? I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I think Kush might be perhaps right. He might pop up at the end and just be like, "Hello, I'm here." And
Something I am wondering though,
best
like
finale ever.
I've not heard anywhere say that WandaVision is a limited series. So I'm kind of wondering, is WandaVision going to be more than one series?
I mean, it could take
It
the
It kind
approach
of feels
where
like
they
they're
just.
setting it up to wrap up
Yeah.
within these 9 episodes, but I haven't seen anywhere that said it's a limited series. So
I mean, they might do another series perhaps after the multiverse
yeah,
of
because
madness and
if
just
it was
have a
going to
very
be
different theme.
if the show was going to be just one series, then it would have been like announced as a limited series, but it doesn't look like
Yeah.
it is. It looks like it's maybe it is. Maybe I'm waffling.
Okay. That's
It's,
it is crazy. It's such a weird series, and I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
going beyond.
It's a very weird. Do you know what? It's done something right. Where my mum, who doesn't know anything about
Same.
Marvel, has watched MCU films and doesn't have a clue what's going on throughout them. Even she likes WandaVision, so they're doing something right.
Hey, yes. I mean, there you go. Yeah.
But I love the way it's shot. I love all the parodies. I love especially in the second episode, like they have the old 60s animated intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That cracked me up a lot actually.
And then they have the bit as well where he gets the gum stuck in him, and that's all animated. That was,
A lobster.
it's done very well. It's like if you take away all the Marvel stuff and all the creepy bits and whatnot and all the weird bits, it would probably be a very good parody of one of those old sitcoms.
To be fair, I had some laughs in there as well. So there you go.
It's funny. Maybe it's just because of what I've seen him in, but I didn't realize Paul Bettany was so funny.
Yeah.
He's
literally.
hilarious. He's alright.
Have you guys seen Wimbledon, the film Wimbledon? He's in that.
I haven't, no.
Justin Dunst. See that is a really funny film. He's brilliant.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm seeing right now?
Like what was it in the second episode? Sorry to cut you off, but in the second episode when he's drunk, but he's just got the gum in him. That
it's so
segment,
sitcom. It's
that
so
scene
sitcom.
is so good. And then he's
brilliant.
putting the hat through him, and they have the mirrors behind it. It's so funny. It really is funny. This
very
show.
creative. Very creative.
I think this was what Marvel needed after like all the big
I
like
completely
Endgame,
agree.
Far From Home. I'm kind of happy this came out before Black Widow because this kind of like feels like a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
for Marvel
And the
after all
thing
like
is,
the big Endgame and stuff. Like,
a lot of people criticize Marvel for being like to the same and like making money, but this
yeah.
that destroys that
Well,
argument because it's so
I think the
creative.
reason that's kind of why I wasn't too excited for it because it's kind of like we've got Endgame sort of burnt out of
Yeah,
Marvel movies
yeah.
now. Like
What
we don't need
what
another
else is there?
big Marvel thing. But like it really is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I really want to see where it goes from here.
I'm very excited.
Is there an episode coming out? Is it this Friday? Or is it?
It's
it-
every Friday. Yeah, it's
Is it
9
two
episodes.
episodes? Is it 2 episodes that come out?
I don't think it is. I think it's just one episode a week from now on.
Oh,
I feel like with those first episodes, they were worried people would be like, "Oh, it's a Marvel thing. I'll check it out," and then
Yeah.
they'd see like the weird, just because like the first episode doesn't have loads of like really weird stuff going on. It's just kind of like the 50s sitcom parody. So I
yeah.
feel like people would have watched that and been like, "What the hell is this?" and then turned it off. I feel like
Yeah,
they needed
I
that
agree, to
second
be honest.
episode to come out at the same time to maybe keep people like hooked and be like, "Okay, kind of see where they're going with it."
Yeah.
Because I'm sure
Yeah.
by the time we get to like episode 7 or 8, it's going to be just completely like
It's
normal
gonna
Marvel.
be
again. I'm
awesome.
sure they
Yeah.
won't be keeping up with the sitcom thing for much longer.
They'll probably be going in and out of it, to be honest.
I
because
think
if
they're
you're
probably
right about
going
the
to try and
whole-
take the sitcom stuff up until about like 2000 like 10s, and then they'll
Yeah,
because they're on what the
Yeah.
70s now.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we're
I
on
think
colour.
so.
It's colour now, so
You know, we're on the 70s now, so it's probably going to be like 3-4 more episodes with like sitcom stuff because they've done something that looks they've done a clip that looks almost like something out of Modern Family. So I kind of
Yeah.
feel like that's where they're going with one of them
Yeah,
because they're all parodying real shows each episode. Like they're all parodying like real like old sitcoms and stuff. So
yeah.
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 I was surprised that she was actually pregnant in the second episode. I thought she was going to be pregnant later on because I knew
So did I.
there was
actually,
enough
so did
weird
I.
stuff already going on. The pregnancy thing didn't really surprise me.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I wasn't
Do you know-
expecting.
Do you know what I found weirdly funny throughout the whole episode? How there's just
Oh.
like you don't see any like there's no child like once throughout the episode, but you just got all these weird adults around town going for the children.
For the children.
So like it's like a cult or something. It's for the children. It's and I just found that really funny.
It is really that part's just it shows how weird
love-
they are.
I love the bit where you know when they did the magic show and then they were just all there like,
Yeah.
what's in the box?
Mm.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I love that bit. I was actually cracking up on that. I was like, wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I did crack up a little bit in the first episode when the guy's choking to death and his wife's just going, "Stop it,
Stop
Yeah,
it!
yeah.
Stop it!
stop it, oh stop it, stop." Like,
I was like,
I found-
something-
it was creepy, but I found it really funny as well. The guy's just like dying on the floor and it's just
Dying
going,
on the-
"Stop it."
Stop it!
Stop
Stop
it.
it!
You know what? I actually have a question. Right?
Matrix.
I have a question, right? So I saw on the cast, right? Evan Peters, he's on it.
Oh yeah, Evan Peters is
wanna
on the cast list.
Yeah, and that I got really intrigued. I was like,
And that is really interesting because
It
he plays Quicksilver.
In
But he
X-Men.
doesn't play Quicksilver in the MCU. He plays him in the
Yeah.
X-Men films.
yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I
Maybe that's
really
the whole
want that. I
multiverse
really
thing.
want that to happen. I really want to see
Yeah.
Evan, because that could be their first way of tying in the Fox stuff, like the
Yeah,
X-Men.
the X-Men.
'Cause I don't think they're
Yeah.
going to abandon all of the X-Men stuff. I mean,
It
the
would be
X-Men
such
films
a
are coming out
waste,
for
wouldn't
what?
it?
Like, the X-Men films are coming out for what, like 20 years? Like you can't just like abandon all that. Like with
Yeah.
Deadpool, they've already said they're not going to.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't abandon the Deadpool stuff, can you really abandon all of the X-Men stuff from the last 20 years?
Yeah.
And I don't think they will. I think they're going to pull like a multiverse thing, and that's where I think Doctor Strange could come into play with the whole multiverse stuff. Is if they introduce Evan Peters as Quicksilver, and
Yeah.
and it makes perfect sense to do it here. Like
I think it.
Scarlet Witch.
It's the
Yeah.
best opportunity. Best
Mm.
opportunity.
It will make a lot of sense, and I really want it to happen because I just really like Evan Peters Quicksilver.
Oh, there's so many of these movies
was
that are just coming
better.
out, and we just want to get there. We just want to know the
We
bottom
We just
line.
want to know. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is gonna
There's that
happen.
Spider-Man 3. That's for me. That's like the one that I just
That's-
cannot wait to get to.
I'm with you on
Especially if,
that. I'm with you on that.
especially if Toby and Andrew are in that. Like that is going to be
It's just
the
so
biggest
awesome.
one. Like, I mean, it could be a complete mess. Like we're all saying this, like it's going to be the best film ever. Having all three Spider-Men in there, it could be a mess, but
It's got to be done right, definitely.
it's got to be handled with care, I think.
Do you know what? I don't know why I have this some sort of feeling, but imagine Spider-Man 3 comes out, go to cinema and watch it, and then they don't make an appearance. Yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield don't make an appearance, and then we get to the end credit scene, and then they just appear.
Was it? I kind of feel like I do wonder when Doctor Strange comes out because I think Spider-Man 3 is meant to be next year.
No,
I
it's
think
come out
they
this
said
year.
2022 for
It's not
Doctor
this
Strange.
year. I think it's next year. It
Or the
comes
next
out.
year. Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Spoiled next year. There's a Batman movie coming out next year. There's a Spider-Man movie coming out next year.
It's going to be a good year. Let's just hope coronavirus isn't here next year. It's spoiled
Yeah.
it all.
But yeah, that's WandaVision. There's not really loads to go off right now with just 2 episodes. We'll have to come back when we've got, or we'll come back next 2 weeks and we'll talk about episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to go do that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's WandaVision. It's very good. Go watch it.
Please do watch it.
Have patience
That's it.
is what all I would say. Have patience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have patience. If you're expecting to go straight in and get like all the answers immediately,
No.
you were never going to get those
It ain't gonna
anyway.
happen.
TV show.
I mean, if you want the answer, go watch Soul. It just tells you straight
Go
away.
watch Soul.
yeah.
The meaning of life. But yeah. So I think that's about it, boys.
Yeah,
That wraps it
We've
all
not
up.
really got anything else planned for this week's podcast.
And we thought it would be short.
We should, yeah, it's not even our shortest one. You boys managed to go way shorter than us. But we just kind of wanted to come in here and talk about movies. No tier lists or quizzes this week. I did have an idea midway doing this, but it's kind of I was going to say, do you guys want to do a BuzzFeed quiz?
Oh, no.
I'm gonna go no on that one, thanks. I'm just gonna stick at no.
Build a sandwich, and we'll tell you what Infinity Stone you are. We have to do that one episode. I'm gonna make us do that one episode. BuzzFeed quizzes.
Please. I'll prepare for it. I'll bust.
What
I'll
episode are
get
we on
it.
now? Episode 6, yeah?
6. Yeah, I think it is 6.
I had an idea for an episode 10 that I kind of feel like we're gonna have to do.
What
is it?
I can't spoil it here. We'll have to get to episode 10 and then we'll see if we do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, saying that, end of the podcast, I think.
End of the podcast.
Yeah.
End of the podcast.
So, thank you for listening. Again, follow us on Facebook at the M.K.P podcast. Follow us on Instagram at M.K.P podcast. And listen to us on. Are you ready for this, boys?
Are you ready for this?
The master do it.
Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public.
I think that might be it.
No,
Is that it?
I think that's it.
wait, no.
We're
No,
terrible. We're
Gasbox.
absolute-
Gasbox.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Listen
There
to
it
us.
is.
It's on Gasbox.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them, right? Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public. Oh no, there's one more. What's the other one?
Apple Podcasts. Did you say that?
I said Apple Podcasts, YouTube,
Oh,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public. Oh, there's one more.
Cast.
Castbox, Pocket Casts. And listen to us on Pocket Casts. You'll do normal.
And not SoundCloud. Do
and
not go on
go to
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. I don't even think it's in our link tree anymore. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
and go check out our link tree.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find all of our platforms.
Yeah, you will.
I think it probably needs an update. But yeah, so thank you for listening.
Much
Be
appreciated.
sure to stream us on all platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers in the next few months. We really want to get to 1,000 soon. So subscribe on YouTube. I know it doesn't sound like much, but you got to start with small goals and you can build up to those big ones. So yeah, check us out on all platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And follow us separately if you want, I guess. Like, do you have anything to plug, boys?
I do not.
Just watch this podcast. Watch this podcast only.
Oh
Podcast.
yeah, no, yeah.
Do not watch any other. Do not listen to any other podcasts.
This has got to be your source of entertainment. Nothing.
Yeah.
For all of the lockdown, nothing else. Just binge these podcasts over and over again.
Over and over.
You could watch all of them in a day, but just keep watching them over and over again. Yeah, that's going to be it from me. I've been Matt, joined by
Tush.
Yep, and
Oh!
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.